Buddha.
Yo, good evening, everyone. What is going on? Happy Sunday or a sad Sunday, any way you want. Depends on how you look at it, right? But shout out to everybody in the chat. What is going on? I got my guy at the Ace Avenue on the show. I was just on his channel. We just kind of broke some things down.
We just switched
So,
spots. That's all it
Yeah,
was.
we just switched spots. Exactly. Now we're streaming here. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Share this channel out with everyone you know, and make sure you guys subscribe to the Ace Avenue too. Ace does an amazing job on his channel. So I have definitely been on his channel quite a few times, and he's been on mine. So and we're gonna continue doing this type of stuff. So yeah, and I'll drop the link below, man. But Ace, how you feeling, man?
Disappointed to say the least. Saying like we've had in-depth conversations about it. I'm disappointed that we didn't end up with them. It ended up turning out to be what a lot of people feared, a 1-year rental of Juan Soto. We gave up a lot of prospects. What a year it was. Had a lot of great moments. I'm grateful for it. Unfortunately, he chose to just take take a little bit more money to sign with the crosstown rival Mets. And now the Yankees are left to say what's next. So,
yeah, that fear, and that's the link right there for the Ace Avenue guys and gals. So make sure you all subscribe to my guy Ace. Let's continue supporting our friend here. So, in the back of my mind, right, even during the 2024 season, I'm like, this could be a one and done. You never know. This could be a one and done. And David, thank you so much for subscribing.
Hopefully no relation to Steve Cohen. So
I hope I don't think he's related to Steve, but David's a Yankees fan. So
I was about to say Steve Cohen messed up our night. So
yeah,
I appreciate you for subscribing, David.
Yeah. But again, in the back of my mind, I kept during the regular season, I'm like, this could very well be a one and done. And that let's just if it is, let's just enjoy this moment, because we get 1 year of Juan Soto. Do I regret the Yankees still making that trade? No, absolutely not. They absolutely needed to make that trade, and he was everything that you thought he was going to be. He was everything that was advertised with Juan Soto, right? So he was the guy. He was that guy. He was that player, that rare player. But we got to see him for a year. Free agency hit. I'm like, let's see what happens. I'm like, I didn't want to walk around like I felt like okay, Nithin, you subscribe to the Ace too.
Appreciate
Thank you so much, Nithin. And shout out to Nithin Ramachandra. This is the cat that sets up all the player interviews for me.
Nice. Good work with that too, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, him and his team. I just wanted to say this real quick. Him and his team do an awesome job of getting us content creators player interviews. And if you're ever in the New Jersey area, he does meet and greets with players, so autograph signings, pictures with current and former athletes. So he gets a lot. He gets some good athletes across all sports, not just baseball. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So Woodbridge Brewing Company out there in New Jersey. So if anybody who is near the New Jersey area or in the New Jersey area, go check it out. But yeah, no, like I was saying, there was always that fear in the back of my mind that we could very well lose him in free agency. He is going to test the market, and it is his right to do so. We all knew he was going to, and why wouldn't he? If we were in his position, we would be doing the same thing.
Absolutely. It was always in the back of my mind too, but I was very confident going forward and saying he was going to be a Yankee. He's not, and say what you want, but I had full confidence that he was going to end up in the pinstripes. This year, like I said, Hal stood on business, in my opinion. he did what he had to do to get it done. It's just unfortunate that Soto decided to just take a little bit more to become a New York Met and go across the street. And like I said, the Yankees are going to have to pivot really quickly and figure out what they're going to do. Things are going to start getting expensive now for the Yankees too, because now you're going to start it's not going to be cheap to get these other players, because now they know the Yankees are a little bit desperate. So they're going to start hiking the prices up on the New York Yankees. So we're going to have to hope that Hal Steinbrenner plan B is a good pivot, and hopefully we can, get it done.
Yeah, and I know we discussed some of the plan Bs, right, on your channel just a few minutes ago, right? And we talked about some plan Bs, but for you, right, what is your plan B? Like if you're Hal Steinbrenner, if you're Brian Cashman, right, if you're the Yankees front office, okay, so you lose Juan Soto to the Mets, who signed a very lucrative deal, and I'll tell you all what that deal was here momentarily, but because the deal is pretty hefty, and can't say that Hal didn't try or didn't compete, because he absolutely tried and definitely was competing. But what is your plan B, Ace? Like what is it that you would do if it was up to you? If it was up to you, what would you do? How would you spend that money?
Now that the Soto sweepstakes is over, it changes things. You end up moving Judge back to right field. Dominguez should get first shot at center field, in my opinion. I'd hit up Teoscar Hernandez ASAP. Hit him up, because like we had talked about it before, he's a guy that does well in Yankee Stadium. He has no problem playing against us. I would also make that trade for Cody Bellinger to maybe see if you don't have to give up a Spencer Jones, because I said I would be okay with trading Spencer Jones if Soto signed. But now it's kind of like you got to hold on to him. So maybe you can give a couple of extra pieces to bring in a Cody Bellinger. Alex Bregman's an option to put at third base, and then you maybe move Jazz back to second. Because not signing Soto changes everything. Because with Soto, you could afford to go younger. Now you're going to have to allocate that money around to different places and fill in different things. Now, the Yankees do have great young talent. I just think that the only thing that I fear is the Yankees going back to doing what they used to do, overpaying older players instead of developing and going on from there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying blow it up, because the Yankees never rebuild. We always reload. But in my opinion, Teoscar Hernandez would be the first signing. I'd go Max Fried. I'm a fan of his. I'd go Max Fried. I would go Bellinger at first, and maybe you go just keep Jazz at third and give Caleb Durbin the first shot at second, because you could always make trades later in the year if you need to. But, those are just a couple of things that I would do. What about you? What would you do?
Yeah, so for me, I would pivot to either Teoscar Hernandez or Profar, Jerickson Profar. I think either one of those guys you can fill in that hole, not for Soto. I'm saying they could fill that hole that the Yankees need, right, in left field. Because moving Judge back to right field, I think would be good for Judge. I think it'd be good for the Yankees, and then you put Dominguez at center field. So first thing is first, I'd go after either a Teoscar or Profar. I'd go after one of those guys. Secondly, pitching, right? Whether that's Max Fried. The Yankees had a meeting with Max Fried. They had a Zoom meeting with him, and they're supposed to have a second meeting with him. When that second meeting is, I don't know. I didn't hear anything about it. I don't know if you did, but I know they're supposed to have that second meeting. And listen, if it means they go after a guy like Corbin Burns, I mean, I know he comes with a QO, but sometimes you just have to say screw it. We gotta go. We gotta beef up the pitching a little bit. We gotta go out there, and sometimes we gotta bite the bullet. I don't know if it's something the Yankees are going to be willing to do, because I know they don't want to get. They don't like to lose. They don't want to lose draft picks or give up that IFA money. I know they value those things, but maybe this time it's a different story. But listen, if they got Max Fried for pitching, I wouldn't be upset. I know guys like Walker Buehler, Jack Flaherty, they're still out there. I don't know what the story is with them, but if the Yankees were to go after either one of those guys, I wouldn't complain. So Yankees have options. And then, you mentioned a trade for Cody Bellinger. Now, prior to the Juan Soto signing, I was saying, I don't know if I want Bellinger because of that contract that he's tied with, because he's going to get paid $25 million. But now, you know, I think it makes a little more sense for them to trade for Bellinger now. Now that Soto's gone, Soto's with the Mets. I think trading for a guy like Bellinger for first base, I mean, it would definitely be an upgrade. He could play first base. He's a lefty bat, so that wouldn't be a bad option. And in third base, I mean, for me, I would keep Jazz at third, and then second base, I'd have one of the guys compete during spring training.
Yeah,
because you got Caleb Durbin, who's highly talked about, because Cashman brought his name up. So has Aaron Boone. So he might play some sort of role. So you might have during spring training you have there's a competition with him, Vivas, Peraza. Even though I think Peraza's days are probably numbered, if I'm being honest. But maybe you have Vivas and Durbin compete for second base for next season. So I think this is also another opportunity for the Yankees to start utilizing some of their younger talent. They have that young talent. I know a lot of us, we've complained about the Yankees farm system and how they don't utilize these young guys. Maybe this is an opportunity here for them to use some of their minor league players. The only thing with that is you have to be patient with them. So you don't expect these guys to be
Yankee
hitting.
fans aren't the most patient, especially.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem, right? Us Yankees fans, we're not exactly the most patient, especially when it comes to young players. But you got to be patient with these young guys that are coming up, and don't put these expectations on them, right? Stop the comparison. Stop the whole Volpe to Jeter, Dominguez to Mansell. Let's stop that. Let them develop into their own, because when we compare those types of players, those young guys, to the older folks or to the older players, the bar is set high. And if they don't perform up to that level, we're just like, oh, he's a wash. So
absolutely.
But that's my take on it, man. As far as what the Yankees moves should be.
Would you consider trading for Bellinger and putting him in the outfield?
I would have zero issues with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a guy that you could probably put him anywhere in the outfield and he can play.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be opposed to that. But if that ends up being the case, then what do you do about first base?
Go a different direction. Maybe Christian Walker is a name that Yankee fans want, but that's another older player that you're pouring money into. The same problems that the Yankees have, because some of these guys just aren't ready. I saw somebody in the chat say, "What about Ben Rice?" Sabrine said, "Rice, baby." I don't think Ben Rice is ready yet.
No.
I want an experienced first baseman. That's the biggest thing. Regardless of what happens, give me an experienced first baseman, because you have Jazz that's still new to third base. Volpe, who tends to make throwing errors, needs to be saved by that. If you're going to go with Caleb Durbin, like you said, compete for second base, you're going to have a very young, inexperienced infield. So you need that. I wouldn't mind if the Yankees put $20-something million in the first, because you're going to need it. You know what I'm saying? Go get Cody Bellinger, have him play first. That saves you on errors, and that has you more fundamentally sound, because that was our problem in the World Series, is what we made errors, stuff like that. You have to be more fundamentally sound. There's no replacing the productivity of Juan Soto. So what the Yankees have to do now is they have to pivot to their plan Bs and hope it works out. Hal and Cashman are on the phone with people right now. You know that they're trying to handle their business. They're not going to just let these players pass by. Hal Steinbrenner did his thing this year, and we're going to have to trust that he can put a good winning product on the field. So I wouldn't be opposed to Bellinger in the outfield if that was the case.
Yeah, I mean, check this out. So, real quick, I wanted to point out what you said. Are these guys going to be able to replace Juan Soto's production? No. I mean, Soto's production is unmatched, right? But you still have to build a team, and a team is going to win, right? We saw that, and we've seen that in years past. Teams that have won the World Series, it wasn't just, one guy. One guy can make a difference. One player can make a difference, but it's still going to take a whole team to click and make it happen. So that's my take on it, right? Now Soto's contract, right? So $765 million for 15 years, and it could escalate to $800 million. If he opts out after the 5th year, they can avoid his opt out, and it would go from 51 million to 55 million AAV. So 51 to 55. I mean, so right now he's going to get paid $51 million a year. There's no deferrals or anything like that. He's getting $51 million a year. And then if he opts out, which he probably will, depending on how well he performs, which I think he will perform well with the Mets. At least, individually, he will perform well. The rest of the team will see. But if he opts out, then he's going to get paid 55. And I think that's what pretty much boiled down his decision as far as where he was going to sign, because the initial, he's going to get paid 51. The Yankees were looking to pay him 47. So I think 47, in my opinion, I feel like was more than reasonable. I think Hal could have gone to 50, but I think he wanted to go. He felt like 47 was reasonable. And I don't know how you feel about it. And folks in the chat, let me know how you all feel about it. But I think 47 was. I can't say it was bad. I can't say that was a bad deal. You can't blame Hal. Like, you can't say Hal didn't try. He absolutely tried.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. $3.5 million off is what pretty much is the difference between him being a Yankee and a Met. We don't know if Hal got a chance to really go to that point, and we don't know if Steve Cohen would have offered more. But at the end of the day, $3.5 million, $3.5 million shouldn't be that big of a difference where you're like, okay, I got to go to the Mets. Like we had talked about before on my channel. I just think he wanted to be a Met. It's as simple as that, because you could have accrued that $4 million somewhere else, which are endorsements, because the Yankee brand is bigger than the Met brand. So I think at the end of the day, it sucks to say this, but I do feel like the Yankees were used yet again to up the price for another team, which, we have to change this moniker of New York Yankees. People have to start wanting to be Yankees again, because we were used to, up the price on Yamamoto, and we were used to up the price on Juan Soto. So what's it going to take for people to want to come here? We're going to start winning again.
Yeah. So, Yankees did well in 2024. Can they repeat that in 2025 without Juan Soto? They can. They just have to get the right players, make the right moves. I know there was talks of them, having interest in Bellinger, which they could still pivot to that. They could still pivot to Bellinger. And I think they could make something happen with that trade. They can definitely make something happen. And I know the Cubs are still in need of pitching, right? So the Yankees have a couple of guys that they can trade to the Cubs. They could trade Marcus Stroman back.
Yep.
And they could potentially even trade Nestor Cortez. So those are two guys that can potentially get traded. And again, for Bellinger, you might have to add something to those names. So that could be a trade option. Or they sign a Christian Walker, or they sign a Goldschmidt, or they sign a 1 year of like Carlos Santana. Like honestly, the first base options right now, there's really not a lot of great options. I mean, the best one would be Bellinger. Would be trading for Bellinger, assuming that they don't put him in the outfield. Mm-hmm. So, but he would be your best option for first base. Would be Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, we got some decisions to make. It's as simple as that. This is going to be a very important offseason for Hal. It's not off to a good start with losing Soto, but you can't afford to be stagnant. You have to be very aggressive here. Like we had talked about before, are players and other teams going to start trying to capitalize on the Yankees' aggression? Is the price on Cody Bellinger going to go up now because they know we're a little bit more desperate after losing Soto?
Mm-hmm.
Are free agents going to ask for $5 million more to become a Yankee rather than go somewhere else? We'll see. We'll see what happens. But this has got to be an off season that we can't. We just made it to the World Series after 15 years. Bro, I'm gonna tell you this. I can't take another 15-year drought. We got to be able to we got to get back there again. I would love nothing more than, I think I said this at the end of my chat. I would love nothing more than the Yankees to load up. Let's see Juan Soto and the Mets in the World Series, and let's beat their ass. Let's do it like that. So
Yeah, no, I'm definitely, I'm definitely ready for the Yankees to make some moves and go take it to the Mets in 2025. Because now I'm just like, all right, game on, let's go, let's make this happen. Okay, y'all got Soto. Congratulations, good for you. Y'all got a generational talent, but yeah, I'm like, we got to go after these boys. So
let me ask you something, because I was on the phone with my nephew before I hopped on to here.
you good?
Do you think that the fact that the Mets stars are more Dominican heavy played a factor? Because he's real good friends with Lindor. They got a couple of Viento, stuff like that. Our Dominican players over here, Cabrera. Maybe it's a soft spot that Glaber's gone, because Glaber was his boy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying too? Do you think that played a factor at all?
I didn't even think about that till you brought it up. My answer would probably be yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. You want to play with your fellow countrymen.
Yep.
So it's not. I get it. You'll probably thrive better with those guys. And I mean, he's good friends with Lindor. But although Mr. Coconut says that Lindor is Puerto Rican, this is true. Lindor is Puerto Rican, but I'm pretty sure
Hispanic presence. Yeah. Because they have more than what we have right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and D-Rod's saying generational hitter, not a G player.
So, Soto?
Yeah, I guess he's saying that about Soto.
A G player meaning a good player? What does a G player mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure what a G player means.
Elaborate on that, because you can't sit here and say what we saw, he's not a good player. I'm assuming he didn't mean G player. I don't know what he means by that.
Pasty, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. That's his business.
I'm not touching that one, bro. I'm leaving that one alone.
That's his business. So, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, it could have played a factor. The fact that he's friends with Lindor, the Hispanic presence over there. We don't really have it here. Look it up. Oh, I don't want to look that up. I'll take your word for it, Pasty.
I'm not. I'm still
good.
not looking it up. Nope. I'm not.
Generational hitter, not generational player. You can't say that. I disagree. I definitely think he was a generational player. Especially in the day and age that we're in now, dude. Let's not do this because he's not a Yankee. Let's not all of a sudden be like, Juan Soto stinks. Come on. No, it's not the case. Juan Soto is one of the best players in the game. We had one of the best tandems in the game. Let's not flip in and be like, since he's not a Yankee, he sucks. No, that's not how I'm spinning it, at least.
Yeah.
G for generational. Oh, so he did mean generational. I just did
generational. Okay, G meaning generational. I gotcha. I mean, I think he's a generational player personally, but that's just my thought. I mean, come on. We were all excited when the Yankees traded for him.
Absolutely.
A
couple of days ago, it was a 1-year anniversary of us trading for Juan Soto. Is he perfect? No player's perfect. Every player has their flaws. Does he stink in the field? I mean, he's an okay fielder. He's not terrible. He made some great plays for us, especially in that opening series versus Houston that got us all really excited. Great hitter, great eye for the ball. Definitely had a career year with Aaron Judge behind him. Will it translate over to the Mets? We're gonna have to wait and see. I wouldn't be surprised if the Mets went ahead and brought back Pete Alonso and tried to emulate what we just had with Soto and Alonso back to back. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, no, that now do they bring back Alonso? I mean, I would imagine they would, right?
Especially because he's their guy. He's their guy.
Yeah, he is their guy, and they haven't done any. I mean, no team has really said anything about Alonso. They haven't had any.
Very under the radar. You're right about that.
Yeah. No team has really said, we're interested. There was no report saying that we're interested in Pete Alonso. So
So does that make you think that he's had an agreement all along with the Mets that they're like, we'll take care of you, Pete. We just want to get Soto first. Does that make you think that?
Uh, Possibly. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's clear. It's clear. I mean, they made it clear that Soto was a bigger priority than Pete Alonso.
Of course, Soto was the biggest domino to fall.
That's what I'm saying. So now that Soto has fallen, now all the other pieces are going to fall. But, let's see what the Yankees do. What is plan B for the Yankees? I know you and I kind of discussed, what we think the Yankees should do. At least we know they were, doing their due diligence throughout this whole time, even talking with Soto and negotiating with him. So yeah, I don't think, I know, for example, like I know a lot of Yankees fans want Santander. I'm not a fan.
Me neither.
I don't want Santander.
I do like the switch hitting presence though. But besides that, I'm not, I'm good. I'm good on that.
Yeah. Okay. So Pasty is saying that there's a video of Soto in a hot tub.
Okay.
And they're, dude, the way you were talking about it, I'm like, bro, I don't want to know. But anyway, and they are popping bottles, and the rumor is the person recording that video, the video is Lindor. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Shout outs to LI Yankee King is in the building. What's up, man?
What's up, LI?
This hurts, but it's time to move on. Yeah. We also want to hear what you guys' plan B is. What do you guys think the first move the Yankees should make, like tomorrow? Like if you were Hal Steinbrenner, what would you think the Yankees should do tomorrow?
Yeah, drop your plan Bs in the chat, folks. I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat because I got quite a few people, and I appreciate everybody tuning in. So Demon D, David Cohen, Pasty, Daniel Berry, Joshua, Nitin was in the building, Sabine, Jonathan, what is up? Who else we got? We got Ken in the building. Chris the Flash was in the building. D-Rod in the building. Mr. Coconuts, Dev. Who else? Jacob Petruzzi, what up? Cold Italian Pizza, how you doing? What's going on, Cold Italian Pizza? James was in the building. I think I got everybody. LI Yankee King. So LI Yankee King is saying Tristan Casas.
Tristan Casas would be his first move. Dev says
that would be your first move, LI?
Dev says he would call up Jones for next season. I mean, that doesn't help us this season.
Yeah, nah. We gotta think about the now. So Casas is a first baseman.
Yeah, for the
Red Sox.
Yep. Well, he's on the Red Sox, so
yeah. Are the Red Sox looking to move him? Is that? Huh?
They're not going to trade with us. Oh. I mean, well, they did. Actually, they gave us Verdugo. Yeah. But that you could argue that hurt us more than anything else because that stopped Jason Dominguez from getting play. So Red Sox are going to screw over the Yankees, which that's another thing. Red Sox is taking a victory lap like they won today because we lost. That shit is just so funny.
Well, and Wampback Doodle is saying Teoscar Hernandez, but we know he re-signs with the Dodgers. Well, we don't know, man, because they're far apart apparently in negotiations. And they just signed Michael Conforto, the Dodgers. So I don't know. Maybe Teoscar moves on from the Dodgers. He wants to go back. I mean, they want to reunite, but they're far apart in negotiations right now.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I do think the Blue Jays are gonna because they're desperate too. I could see him going back to Toronto because apparently they got money to offer too. So I could see them probably overpaying him and trying to bring him back, trying to pair him up with Vlad for one more year before Vlad hits the market.
Yeah. Do you think, while I mean, I know it's far away, but you think the Yankees make a move for Vlad next season?
I don't know. I mean, there were a couple of reports saying that it could have happened this past trade deadline. We'll see. The one thing I don't want to do, I don't want to trade for him and have to go through the same stuff that we just went through with Soto again next year, where we traded all these things for a rental and then it happened again. So We'll see. I mean, could the Yankees be in on it? We've heard different reports saying that Vlad has talked to his dad and that whole thing with the Yankees. He's trying to walk back all those, oh, I never hated the Yankees type stuff. So, who knows? I wouldn't mind it at first base, but what are we gonna do this year at first? Like, are you gonna sign someone short term in hopes of throwing everything at Vlad Guerrero Jr. next year? Because then if you get Cody Bellinger, like let's say this situation, let's say Yankees get Cody Bellinger. He stays at first base this year. We get Teoscar Hernandez or somebody in left field. Bellinger has a player option. If Vladimir Guerrero Jr. comes to the team, what are you going to do? You're going to move Bellinger to the outfield? Then what are you going to do? You're just going to keep blocking Spencer Jones? I don't know. Those are decisions that the higher-ups have to make.
Yeah, and real quick, shout out to David Cohen for the 199 super chat. You're the man, bro. Thank you so much. He says, you guys see the lineup without Soto?
We don't know what it's going to be without
yeah, we don't. But the thing, yeah, I mean, with the current team, yeah, we could see what the lineup is without Soto. But, yeah, it's not great. But we don't. Let's see what it's going to look like when the Yankees hopefully make some moves, some signings, some trades. I mean, they gotta make something happen. They can't go with the current team that they have right now. That's for sure. So, but yeah, no, I mean, with the team that they have currently, yeah, I saw. I mean, the lineup is not going to be great, and they know that, they're aware of that. So it's not like they're going to, just stick with that lineup. At least I hope not. So
yeah, it's looking at the lineup because he was saying, Yes Network showed the lineup. It's kind of you're judging an unfinished product,
right?
Like we can have this conversation a couple of weeks before spring training. Like what the lineup looks like. We don't know what the Yankees are going to do tomorrow. The lineup can look a lot. MLB Network can post that today. The lineup could look a hell of a lot different tomorrow or in 3 days from now. We don't know.
Yeah, and D-Rod, long-term first base options are there right now? I mean, really, the only one would be Bellinger if the Yankees were able to trade for him. Because as far as the free agents go, there really isn't a long-term free agent first baseman. There really is no names. If you look at the names of the first basemen that are free agents, none of those names are long-term, except if they were to be able to trade for Bellinger, and you hope Bellinger has some killer seasons, he could be your long-term first baseman. But as of right now, there is no legitimate first baseman at the Yankees. That as far as free agents go, there is no first baseman that is what do you call it? That is long-term. And the Yankees don't have anybody in their farm system at the moment. I mean, yeah, they have TJ Rumfield, but I don't know that he's ready. Ben Rice is clearly not ready. Spencer Jones, yeah, he could play first base, but he's better in the outfield. I'd rather use him in the outfield. They could use him as a first baseman, sure. But I'd rather put Spencer Jones in the outfield because he'd be better in that area. You want to put him in his best position. So yeah. That's my take on it. But what's your take for first base? I know we kind of talked about who the Yankees could go after, but I mean, is there a long-term first base option that you find attractive? I mean, I know we talked about Bellinger. Anybody outside of Bellinger, you think?
I mean, possibly Christian Walker is a name that's out there. I mean, how old is he? Like 34?
He's up there in age, man. I mean, I think
you can give him like a 2-3 year. I mean, Eli says he wants Tristan Casas again. I don't think that's a viable option. Or is Boston really going to trade him to us? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, they're going to be hiking up the price. Bellinger, I think, is a good option. As long as you don't have to give up top end prospects. Like the only reason I would have got rid of Spencer Jones in a trade that, maybe possibly for Bellinger is if Soto would have signed. Now I'm not getting rid of Spencer Jones. It's as simple as that. First base, like I said, I had alluded to before, because of the youth and inexperience of our infield, we need that veteran first baseman. Like a lot of people want Carlos Santana on a short-term option. He's 30, he's almost 40 years old, but his numbers were decent last year. A lot of people want him as a stopgap type first baseman until one of our guys is ready. Maybe the Yankees go that route. Maybe they go Carlos Santana for 1 year to get ready for Vlad next year. Like maybe long term isn't the answer at first base if Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to be the biggest name on the market next year.
Yeah, so maybe they go temporary at first base for 2025.
It could be, but there's some things that we do know. We do know that Ben Rice isn't ready. Not
Nope.
saying he's trash. By no means am I saying he's garbage, but we know that he's not ready for that yet. Rumfield, we don't know yet. He's still an unknown. So if the Yankees really want to get serious, like especially after losing Soto tonight, maybe there are some creators that are like, I'd hit up Toronto and say, what do you want for Vlad Guerrero Jr. as a pivot point? They're gonna ask for a lot. Maybe you just wait a year, go short-term option at first, because you could always go Bellinger at first, for this year, and next year with the player option, you could always move him back to the outfield and bring back Vladimir Guerrero and bring in Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Then you have an outfield of Dominguez, Bellinger on another year, Aaron Judge. I was about to say Juan Soto. Aaron Judge, and then you have Vlad at first. Maybe that's the way to go.
There's options, and I know I see Ken brought up Murakami, but I know you and I talked about Murakami. I brought his name up, but I know you said the Dodgers, but they still have Freddie Freeman, and he's still on the contract for I believe a few more years. Yankees could look into Murakami though. It's possibility. So
it is, but I just don't think the Dodgers have a leg up on any Japanese player that's coming over because it's a cultural thing at this point. They're building something. They're building an international brand over there that even though, we have our Japanese players that are historic, Matsui, Tanaka, we have ours, Ichiro played over here for a short time, but, it's not what they're building over there, especially, them going to the West Coast is better for them to play in front of their people, who are overseas, being able to watch them easier if they're on the West Coast. I just don't see especially with the money that they've been able to defer with Ohtani, they're able to bring in people like that. So what they're building over there is bigger than baseball.
Yeah, no, I think now the Dodgers, they're going to be an attractive team for Japanese players, and I think the West Coast in general,
like D-Rod said too, the Padres have an advantage over the Yankees when it comes to those international players too. I would agree with that. Darvish.
Yeah, Darvish, because what's that guy got posted, right? Why am I forgetting his name? The pitcher.
Sasaki,
Roki Sasaki. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He got posted. So yeah, he could very well sign with San Diego. He's got a good relationship with Yu Darvish. That's possible.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to be the first. Japanese players want to come where there's other Japanese players.
Yeah.
The Padres have them. Dodgers have them. We don't.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to, even the Mets have one. You're going to have to throw more money at them in order to get them over here to start. But all it takes is one, and then maybe you can build from there. But I don't think he's on the Yankees wish list. I think Max Fried is a viable choice. We were hearing that. That has actually picked up a lot of steam. Don't be surprised if Max Fried is a Yankee by this week, because that picked up a lot of steam out of nowhere. And I know you were covering it too. All of a sudden you hear Yankees are having a meeting with Max Fried. It went really well. They're about to have another one. Don't be surprised the Yankees, if you build a strong pitching staff, if you're going to pivot away from, you got to fill the holes that you got to fill in. But if you can build an elite pitching staff, that might be able to carry you through a postseason run as well.
Yeah, and pitching wins, man. Pitching wins championships. We've seen that time and time again. So maybe this is one of those things where the Yankees may build up, stack up on pitching. I think they're going to get one starting pitcher, honestly, but I think they need to get one starter and then beef up that bullpen. So they're going to have to. Tanner Scott. That's a name that I've been talking about. That's a name that I want.
Would you trade for Devin Williams?
I wouldn't personally.
That'd be another potential rental based on his contract, I believe.
Yeah, I think Devin Williams is. Yeah, I think he's got another year on his contract. I'm checking it right now. Yeah, he's going to be a free agent after the 2025 season. So uh, personally, I don't have a problem with Devin Williams. I think Devin Williams is good. I personally wouldn't go after him. I'd rather go after Tanner Scott personally.
Yeah.
You
Especially
know,
because like for bullpen, you don't want to give up top end prospects or even middle end prospects for
right?
potential bullpen arms. The one thing I always have confidence in is that the Yankees do have good bullpen. We always find these guys. Look at Luke Weaver, for example. Tim Hill performed well this year. We turned his numbers around. You know what I'm saying? But you could always use bullpen. Tanner Scott's got to be one of the main guys. If you give me, okay, nothing's replacing Soto. I'm just going to continue to say that. But
We already know that. Yeah.
if you give me Tanner Scott, Teoscar Hernandez, Cody Bellinger, I don't want to give Alex Bregman $200 million. I don't. That's what he's asking for, but I don't. But if you can get him for cheaper, maybe you get him at third, you move him. I'd be okay with that going forward into the season, because then you got a good young nucleus with Volpe, Wells, and on the infield, then maybe Caleb Durbin at second as well. You give him the first shot. But there are moves that the Yankees can make. They just have to be ultra aggressive. And Max Fried. Give me Max Fried as well. Because like I talked about on my channel, I love the righty lefty matchups, when it comes to starting rotation.
Yeah, no, that's a solid game plan. I think that's solid. I'm just curious to see what the Yankees are going to do. I'm curious to see what Plan B is.
Yep.
What is their Plan B? I mean, yeah, there was all these reports of them having interest, but they had interest in Willie Adames, but he obviously signed with the Giants. But what
Willie
happens?
Didn't really move the needle for me though. Like he wasn't like,
yeah,
like yes, Willie Adames. Like
yeah, I wasn't like, oh, the Yankees absolutely have to sign him. If they did sign him, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't complain, but I wasn't like, oh, they have to get him. Yeah. But YOLO has his list. He says Carlos Santana at first, Bellinger in center field. I think he meant to say Burns on that. Burns, Scott, and Nico Horner.
That if you're going to get Bellinger and Horner, you're going to have to give up one of the top end prospects if you're going to get those two.
Yeah, so that's probably going to be like a Dominguez or a Spencer Jones at that point.
Which I don't want to give up Jason Dominguez. I would be upset if we lost Soto and Dominguez in 1 year, in one offseason. That would piss me off.
That would be a low blow for sure, man.
Because then we never really got to see what Dominguez pans out. Dominguez needs to get the first start at center field. There's no more excuse. You know what I'm saying? He needs to come in, start raking immediately. Fix left field, first base, get a veteran first baseman. I'm okay with giving Caleb Durbin the first shot at second base. Give him about a month, maybe 2 to see what happens. If he doesn't pan out, you can always make a trade if you have to. But you got to start covering up some of these holes. We have too many holes in this team. Austin Wells needs to step up exponentially this year. Volpe needs to take a big leap in year 3. We need to see from Anthony Volpe what we saw in the World Series. Keep that train going. Be that Anthony Volpe. Judge, we know what we're going to get from Aaron Judge. Giancarlo Stanton, we have to have contingency plans for him because we know for a fact he is going to be on the IL at some point at this season. Every year, death taxes and Giancarlo Stanton on the IL. So you have to have contingency plans, but we know damn for sure he'll show up in the playoffs. So
that is one thing about Stanton is, yeah, he gets hurt every year. And that's a given. But yeah,
also losing Soto puts a lot of pressure on 99 next year. If he didn't have the pressure from what happened in the top of the 5th inning and the playoffs, he's had that extra pressure because Soto's gone. So now, especially with the New York media, every day is going to be Soto versus Judge. What did Soto do? What did Judge do?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's going to be. He's going to have that extra pressure. Aaron Judge needs to take an A-Rod 09 leap and get that whatever it is, whatever demons you're fighting, dude, get that shit out the way. Like, come on.
Yeah, he's got to come up big in the playoffs. He comes up big in the regular season, but he's got to come up big in the playoffs. And D-Rod says Tanner Scott, Burns, Bellinger, that covers Soto monies and coverage. I think he meant to say coverage before hitting tax limit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and D-Rod and LI do not want Vlad Jr. I mean, I get it.
Vlad Jr., okay. But when it comes to moxie, he's probably the second closest to Soto that we could probably get as far as like being like I don't give up attitude. You know what I'm saying? Like we know that Vlad isn't going to be phased by the pressure. He kills us in New York. We know he's not phased by that. So he's that next player that can bring in that, that charisma. What could it bring us over the top? I don't know. I'm not against it. I'm not against Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I think he's much improved at first base.
Mm-hmm.
And we know what his bat can do in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, he could be a killer. Yeah, and he is a killer with the bat. I mean, he's definitely shown that, especially at Yankee Stadium. So
I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of these as he's rounding third in the pinstripes when he walks around. Like,
facts. And this message was for you from referee. He was saying it's coming. We were going to lose the Martian and Spencer Jones. Watch it play out.
No, I don't think so. My biggest fear is that the Yankees. My biggest fear going into the entire offseason was the Yankees weren't going to bring back Soto and then hit us with the bullshit. You know how the Yankees are. We just believe in our prospects. That's why we didn't offer him a big contract, but that's out the window because they competed with the contract. I don't think Dominguez, I want to see Jason Dominguez really his full potential pan out. Spencer Jones, maybe, if you bring in the right pieces. If you bring in the right player for him.
Right, yeah. Because look, I know folks wanted to trade Spencer Jones, right, for Corbin Burns, but I wasn't going to do it for 1 year of Corbin Burns.
Nope.
And it goes back to what what I've been saying. I was like, yo, I do not want to have, one or like having 1 year of Juan Soto. I mean, yeah, it was worth it, but I don't want to have like two players that are 1 year rentals because that's just going to cause a lot of headache and a lot of stress. Some fans wanted to trade Spencer Jones for Corbin Burns. I understand. I get it. Crochet too. It wasn't enough for me. They wanted to do it for Dylan Cease. Honestly, it wasn't enough for me. And Ken, if you're still in the chat, I know he's going to be happy to hear this. I know he's been saying it, but if it was like Spencer Jones for a Scooble, sign me up. Sign me up. I will do that trade right now. But
at this point, I would have given up Spencer Jones for Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease reliable. I would have 200 strikeouts a year. He's reliable.
He's reliable, but
now it would have been my preference. But I'm saying, if that move would have happened, I wouldn't have killed Cashman and Howe for that.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. Just Dylan Cease didn't exactly move the needle for me. I'm not saying he's a bad pitcher. He's a good pitcher, but he's not. I don't view him as like an elite pitcher. You see what I'm saying? Like if it was for Scooble, I would have been down. Yeah. I'll take Scooble all day. You know what I mean? And referee saying I see Jones play in Somerset a lot. Yankees AA team. Yep. I personally think Jones is very overrated.
Ken, when he goes to the AAA team, and because me and Ken live near each other, when he goes to play the Norfolk Tides, Ken, we got to go to that game.
There you go.
And I want to check him out in person to see if he's really worth it.
There you go. And Ace, my fear is repeat of when Cano walked the Yankees went and signed Jacoby Ellsbury. I don't think the Yankees are going to do anything like that.
Anything stupid.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do anything stupid. I think to me, when they signed Jacoby Ellsbury, I think it was just to bring fans to the stadium. So right now, the pressure is on. That's another thing that I haven't really talked about, and it just popped up in my mind because does anybody in the chat know of like season ticket holders? Season tickets have fans renewed their season tickets? Because last year there was a bit of a drop in season tickets because of the fact that the Yankees had a bad 2023 season, and they were just like, we got to wait and see what the Yankees are going to do. Is that the case this offseason? Now that Soto's gone, are season ticket holders still holding off? Like how many of them actually renewed during this offseason?
Price is going to be a little cheaper than what they would have been
Oh
for
yeah,
Soto. Yeah. So I mean,
yeah.
expect but I mean, it depends. The Yankees still box office at the end of the day, dude. We're a tourist attraction. You know what I'm saying? Like Yankees are gonna sell out regardless of if they had Soto or not. But yeah, I mean, season ticket holders might get a little bit cheaper discount now. The Mets are gonna pay out through the roof now. Their shit already went up, but they're about to pay a lot now. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're gonna pay a lot. They're gonna pay a lot. And referee says a ticket should be $10 now. Hal messed it up.
it won't.
Hal didn't mess anything up, man.
I
I'm
agree.
sorry, but look, I know there's gonna be a lot of fans out there, and you're entitled to your opinion as always. Your opinions are always welcome. We're not gonna always agree, and I understand that, but Hal didn't screw anything up. I'm sorry, but Hal didn't screw anything up. Hal did everything he possibly can. He went above and beyond, and I think I would say he went above his comfort zone. So he did everything he needed to do. At the end of the day, it was about the money. That's what it was, and I think 47 million a year. I think was reasonable for Soto. Am I a little bit surprised that Hal didn't go to 50? I'm a little surprised. I'll be honest with you. I thought he would have gone to 50, but I think 47 was more. I think 47 was more than reasonable.
Yeah, there's definitely nothing to scoff at. He did his thing. To the people are just looking for something to point the finger at, and Hal is the easy target. People didn't think he was going to even get to 700 million. So it's just
Yeah,
at the end of the day, I mean, Soto just wanted to be a Met. To Eli's comment, my top three in the lineup would be Jason Dominguez, Jazz, and Judge. So would you and Eli, you can answer this too. You wouldn't want Jason Dominguez right behind Judge to give him some protection?
yeah. Because Judge is going to need some protection. He had that protection with he could have
Was for
had
a
that
little bit.
protection. He had that protection with Soto. Now that's the question. Do
Mm-hmm.
you put Dominguez at leadoff, or do you put Caleb Durbin at leadoff?
We haven't seen it. I wouldn't because I
Right.
haven't seen anything. Realistically, if I had a choice, I would put Volpe up there, but I understand he's not ready. He doesn't see enough pitches. His OPS isn't where I want it to be for a leadoff guy. But with the speed, if he can get on base more, I would say Volpe would be my ideal leadoff hitter with what we have currently now. Now I did see earlier in the chat somebody said get Luis Arias. He would be our leadoff guy, but I'm just not a Luis Arias guy. Just a guy that just singles all over the place, stuff like that. I mean, it gets guys on base, but I'm
Yeah.
just not sold on that. But as far as Jason Dominguez, I mean, we'd have to see. We got to figure out how to protect Judge at the end of the day because we saw it when you're not going to get pitches to hit. Soto protected Judge by being in front of him, getting on base, so putting that traffic. So do you think, like I had talked to you about this before, do you think Aaron Judge goes back to 2 to get him more at bats, or are you going to stay? Because the analytical approach says outside of this year, because we have Juan Soto, the analytical approach says your best hitter should bat 2, and to get him more at bats, to get him more opportunities, the conventional way is get 2 guys that can get on base for your best hitter.
It all depends on who they sign, right? I mean, if they could get if there's a player currently on the team or a player that they sign to protect Judge, then yeah, you keep Judge at 3. If not, then you might have to move him up to the number 2 spot. It just depends on how this lineup is going to look. What other additions that the Yankees are going to make. And real quick, referee, I know Hal had a year to keep Soto, and now Soto was going to test the market.
Of course.
I'm sorry. I am sorry.
They
Soto
waited
was
too
going to
long to
test the
not.
market.
They waited too
Huh?
long to not. No, they waited too long for him not to test the market. Whatever offer,
Yeah.
because there were talks about that contract extension. Whatever Hal would have offered Soto and Steve Cohen for that contract extension would have been the floor going into 2025. If he would have said $7 million, they would have started at that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Um, I had a question because this
Mm-hmm.
kind of came up in my mind. Soto was given a QO, so
He didn't take it.
he
Yeah.
didn't take it, right? But since the Mets signed him, did the Yankees receive picks?
Picks for him?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I believe so.
I think they do. So it's I think they
because
get
he didn't take the qualifying offer. So
yeah,
I do believe that they do get picks for it though. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets picks, and I think they get some IFA money from that too.
Yeah. But we'll see what the Yankees do with that. That's like yeah, like Eli just said, we get international money. Let's effing go.
There we go.
I mean,
okay, that does answer my question. Okay, we get
Yeah.
the draft picks for Soto. All right.
But see, this is the thing though. Great, but I'm not worried about somebody that's in high school right now because that's what it is. Like those picks are going to be good for when. Like you're going to draft somebody, he's not going to be able to help this team for another 3-4 years. Like I want to, great, yeah, that's a great consolation prize for Soto, I guess. But it doesn't replace him in my opinion. But we'll see. You never know. Maybe we get the next Juan Soto with that pick. You just never know.
You never know. Well, there's in baseball, any sport really, but in this case, baseball, there's going to be some new talent coming up. You just don't know who it is yet. But right now, that talent is Soto. But let's see what happens in the future. Referee, Yankees going for Pete Alonso. I mean, we discussed it a little bit with Ace, but I'm not really in favor of it personally. I know Ace wasn't really feeling it either.
No, because like we had talked about, because we haven't heard much around Pete Alonso, it wouldn't surprise me if they have a deal in the works that they're just like, we'll take care of you. Let's just get Soto first. It wouldn't surprise me in the next couple of days you see Pete Alonso signs with the Mets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he'll probably take a hometown discount.
Oh, probably. Maybe. And orange and blue propaganda. What's up, man? He's saying Hal's strategy is to monetize mediocrity. He'll make the Yankees just good enough for the playoffs while pimping the team's legacy to keep the merchant takes prices high. Yanks are cooked.
He's a Met fan. Of course he thinks
Of course he's going to say that, yeah.
We're still a bigger brand than you guys are.
Yeah. So. Yankees are at the end of the day. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, the point is to get to the playoffs. In the playoffs, you never know. Anything can happen. We need guys to step up. Aaron Judge hasn't done it so far in recent history. People will dwell back. I think Eli will be one of them. He's had success in the playoffs. The last couple of years, no, not so much. This last year, no. But, to monetize mediocrity is crazy. Like Eli just said, Tommy, you have no idea what you're talking about. Dude, at the end of the day, like, the Yankees make money regardless. So
yeah, I know.
Even when we don't make the playoffs, we're an international brand. We make money. So, yeah. Yankees are cooked. I mean, you guys still got to get past the Dodgers. Unfortunately, we won't until we get to the World Series, or we have to, the NL is a lot. And this is another reason why I understand Steve Cohen throwing the most money, because in the NL you have to compete. You have the Phillies, the Padres, the Dodgers. You can't just afford to sit on your hands. They were more desperate for Soto. That's why they outbid us. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like I said this on your channel. Mets got Soto, great. That's great for them, but it's not going to guarantee them a World Series. You still got to get past the Dodgers, because the Dodgers are still going to be they're still going to be a huge threat in that NL. I mean, they've been active this offseason so far.
And they're going to be getting 2 pitchers back in Glasnow and Ohtani.
Ohtani, right. And Glasnow, I'll tell you, well, Glasnow's good, but he gets hurt often.
So does Ohtani.
Right?
Well,
so does
I wouldn't say so. Yeah, but yeah.
But Glasnow, he gets hurt often. I mean, Yamamoto, or not Yamamoto, Ohtani had 2 Tommy Johns, but what was that?
Snell, adding Snell. So
yeah,
and powerhouse lineup. I mean, rotation. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's still some issues with the team, with their pitching staff. I mean, if they could have a healthy pitching staff, I mean, they're going to be unstoppable. So the Dodgers might be. I think the Dodgers are the team to still look out for in the National League. And I'm not just saying that to hate on them. It's not about it. I'm not trying to hate on the Mets. it's just the Dodgers defending World Series champions. I'm sorry, but
yeah, I just know how I am. I want to see the Mets in the World Series. Root for the name in front of the jersey, not the back. But I want to be able to see the Mets in the World Series. I want Juan Soto to you can call me petty if you want. That same look that he did when he was as the Yankees watching us win. I want him to watch us win from the other side now. That's what I want. Make it happen, Hal. Come on. That's what I want. I want him to be sitting at the top step like, damn, I left this team? That's crazy.
Yeah, and let's see. What up, Stephen B? He's saying, what's up, Ace? The Mets still have more holes than Swiss cheese. We be back and better than Mets. Hal and Cash will have a hell of an offseason, even losing Soto. I like the confidence. I love the confidence. Now they just need to go out and make it happen. So,
also keep in mind, Met fans that are all like orange and blue, they're all high and mighty. That right field, if the people thought that Soto had a hard time at Yankee Stadium right field, he's gonna have a hard time in the Met Stadium right field. Because their right field's a lot bigger than ours. So, look at Orange and Blue says 100% a paradigm shift. This is more than titles. This is about branding, popularity, and positioning the Mets as the New York team. They're still not the team in New York. The Yankees are a bigger brand.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say the Yankees are more well known around the world than the Mets are. Even in countries where baseball doesn't exist, fans know the Yankees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people know the Yankees.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. Yes, it was a good move for you guys to get Juan Soto from us. Absolutely. 100%. But it doesn't all of a sudden mean the Yankee brand is shit. It doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
It's still going to be competitive. They're still going to make it to the playoffs. And when it comes to playoffs, anything can happen. We don't know. We got to wait and see. But I guarantee you guys like Orange and Blue Propaganda, if his take is wrong, he won't pop back in here and apologize to you, NFE.
And that's fine. Yeah, I'm okay with it. And dude, Orange and Blue Propaganda, keep bringing it, bro. I can take it. I get punched in the face every day, so not a big deal. Referee 583 is saying, NFE, when are you going to get a channel decal and some merchandise? Dude, I need to work on some merchandise. I've been saying that for a while. I'm going to talk with Ace because I know he does merchandise, so maybe I'll get some tips and advice from you. And he's like, I want to support your channel. I appreciate it. There's ways to support, man. You already know. The Ace and Foul Territory are the best in MLB sports media. Well, appreciate that, man. Yeah. Sure, these guys. I know. We try to do what we can. So.
Yeah, I was about to read that one. Now the Mets get significant. No way. I think he meant no way. No way.
Yeah, no way. The Mets.
You'd be surprised, especially in the Hispanic community. Like, there will be fans that flock to the Mets because of this. Like, it's a big move for them. I'm not going to undersell it just because we lost. I'm not salty, be a little petty, but I'm not salty. Like, I understand it's a big branding move for him, especially because Soto's going to be a big name in New York. It's going to be him and Aaron Judge facing off for the front page of New York baseball every day.
100%. Stephen B's comment here: defense got better in right field and can leave Jazz at third, have Durbin at second, get a stopgap first, and get Bellinger for first. Let Dominguez play center and wait for Jones to get ready. We have a huge core. Does have a point. It's just a matter of if they can get Bellinger. I mean, Dominguez needs to be the guy that plays center field because I want to see a full season of Dominguez. I want to see 2 full seasons of Jason Dominguez. So hopefully, I do want to see that. I think we will. And let me just pull up this comment. All fun aside, you have a great podcast, dude. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it's all love. We all just.
It is all love, bro. I know you're just poking fun, man. So
And as he should. Met fans, take your victory lap.
Yeah.
It's by all means. Yeah. Like, finally, Steve Cohen came through with something because after losing out on Ohtani, Yamamoto, this is a big fish for him. I mean, it is a slight paradigm shift because, little brother won over big brother.
Li, we've talked about this numerous times. Giancarlo has a no trade clause. He has a full no trade clause. The guy's not gonna. He will veto any trade if the Yankees were to even try to trade him. And guess what? The Yankees aren't going to trade him.
No,
They're not going to.
I just know when it comes playoff time, he's locked in. That's one
Yeah, he's
MFer that's
so
locked
locked
in.
in.
Like,
Yeah,
and all jokes aside, he might be our best playoff weapon
yeah.
because I don't have much trust in Aaron Judge in the playoffs. He's got
At
to
the
show me
moment,
something.
no.
Before it was Soto and Stanton. Now it's just Stanton because I don't have a lot of faith in the Aaron Judge until I actually see it. So he has an 09 A-Rod performance.
Oh yeah, man. If Judge can have like that type of performance where he comes out and just slays, bro, like sign me up, man, because he needs it. He needs to make that happen. You know, he needs to step up. Does Soto get booed at Yankee Stadium when he returns? Oh, probably.
Yes.
Oh, he's 100% going to get booed. Are you kidding?
Yeah, and then he's going to use that as ammunition to hit a couple home runs against us. No, so get ready for that. Eli says he doesn't know how many playoff runs Stanton has left. All it takes is one. I just need one good playoff run from Stanton. One that gives us, and I'm good.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's had some great playoff runs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, as long as he continues having those playoff runs, and as long as the Yankees make it, man, I'm not going to complain. And OG's in the building. He's saying, I told everyone, including Jason, who would not listen, who was completely cool, bro. You know what? You were right, and I was wrong, or we were wrong. That's fine. Everybody makes mistakes.
Of course, we're not perfect.
Yeah.
I like what Ken said. I wouldn't mind trading for Ryan McMahon and having him at third. I wouldn't mind that at all. But I don't think he wants to go anywhere because there was a report that came out last year before the trade deadline where they gave him an option. They were like, what do you really want to do? Do you want to stay? And he was like, yeah, he doesn't want to uproot his family and stuff. So that's the reason they didn't trade him. Yeah. I wouldn't mind. Ryan McMahon, that left-handed bat in Yankee Stadium, you put him behind Judge, I would like that.
Yeah, McMahon would be great, but I don't know that the Rockies are going to trade him.
Yeah, that's the only thing too. Yeah, because he might not want to go because they weren't going to if he would have wanted to.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to go. Brendan Donovan, man, I'd love for the Yankees to trade for Brendan Donovan. Oh my God, if the Yankees were able to trade for him, sign me up. He'd be great for the Yankees. He'd be great for Yankee Stadium. But I don't be surprised if the Cardinals give him some sort of extension because I think he's one of those. He's probably one of those guys that they want to keep. I think they want to try and move Arenado, but the Arenado's market is going to be very limited. I could see the Dodgers getting Arenado if I'm being honest. So
he feels like he could be a Dodger.
Yeah. He's from LA. He's from California. He's from California. I don't know if it's specifically LA, but he's from California.
Yeah. D-Rod says some people don't want the big cities. McMahon is one of them. I don't think that was the case. Like Steve,
it has something to do with his family because
he didn't want to uproot. Yeah, he just had a new kid. He didn't want to uproot in the middle of it. And I understand that. I'm not a father, but I can understand the stress it takes to get traded, especially if you're going to get traded to New York. You're going from Colorado, which you live in Colorado, you know. Imagine going right to New York City, you know.
Yeah, that would be a hard move. Yeah, it would be a hard move, man. Yeah, I can't blame McMahon. He approached management. He approached the GM of the Rockies and said, "Hey, man, are you guys looking to trade me? Like, here's what's going on." And they told him, "No, you're staying. So you're staying." So, yeah, I don't. But even then, like, I don't know that the Rockies trade him because, I feel like they want to keep him and they have their young shortstop that they gave an extension to during the season. His name is Ezekiel Tovar.
Yep.
So they're having those two guys. I think that might be like that core, and they might try to build a team around them. So just to throw it out there for everybody. But let's see. YOLO's saying if I see lineup, I'll be happy. Dominguez, center field, Judge right field, Bellinger first, Stanton DH, Chisholm second, Hernandez left field, Wells behind the plate, Volpe at shortstop, Durbin at. So are you saying Durbin at third? You're saying Caleb Durbin at third and Jazz Chisholm at second. I like your lineup here, but I'd rather keep Durbin at second and keep Jazz at third. Jazz has an arm for third base.
Yeah, absolutely.
Personally, that's my opinion. But again,
no, he does. He's got a cannon. You don't want to. Yeah, he's got a cannon. Base.
Yeah. But YOLO, if that you're entitled to your opinion, but I'd personally I would rather keep Jazz at third, man, because he's got a cannon of an arm.
Yeah,
the dude's he could throw.
Yeah, before because second base obviously the shortest throw. I'd consider moving Volpe to second and Jazz to short before I move Jazz full time second. But it's like if you're gonna bring in the only reason I would say, because arm aside, I'm just thinking about the glove. If you were gonna bring in a real third baseman, that's a different story. So
yeah, he was saying I meant to say Jazz for third. Okay, copy. No, you're good, man. Yeah, I like Jazz at third base though. He's like you said, he's got a cannon of an arm. I wouldn't want to move him to second. Volpe to second. Listen, I would move Volpe to second, but I don't think he's a Gold Glover at short. But I don't think the Yankees are going to do that right now. It's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. Maybe a few years down the line, depending on who's coming up, because there's talks of Arias, there's talks of Lombard. Again, we don't know what these guys are yet. They're prospects, but they're highly talked about. But YOLO, what do I think of that lineup? Let me go back to it. So you would have Dominguez lead off, Judge hit second, Bellinger hit third, Stanton at 4, Chisholm at 5, Hernandez.
I wouldn't be against it.
6, Wells at 7, Durbin at 8, Volpe at 9. I'm a fan. I do like that lineup. I like Stanton at the 5 spot, but looking at these names, I mean, maybe you could put Bellinger at the 4 spot. I wouldn't mind seeing that, but I don't mind that lineup.
Yeah, because you got righty, lefty. I mean, you got switch hitter. Righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, righty. So, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
No.
And you flip it over with Dominguez at the top with a switch hitter. So,
yeah, that wouldn't be a bad lineup at all. I actually like that lineup, and thank you so much, referee. He says because thanks a lot for the chat and for coming on. I got to go to bed. 6 a.m. Yeah, go to bed, man. Get some sleep. I didn't even realize I was over an hour into the live stream, but I usually go over an hour anyway. So damn, time flies by when you're having fun.
So what are we all eating tonight?
It's way too late, bro, for food. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've been kind of eating a little junk food as of late, so I've been kind of like treating myself.
Yeah, might have to eat away some Yankee fans gonna be eating away their sorrows. Like, no Soto.
Oh, they're probably gonna be getting drunk out of their minds, and then they're gonna cry themselves to sleep.
Yep. So.
Is that Teoscar Hernandez? You want him to bat that low? Yeah, I think that was YOLO was referring to Teoscar Hernandez.
I think that's fine because it adds depth to the lineup. So
yeah, and you kind of
fine with it.
Yeah, you kind of need that threat at the bottom of the bottom of the lineup. So you need to have some sort of threat at the bottom of the lineup, and having a guy like Teoscar there, forget it. And you see the top of the lineup.
And I think Jazz. Okay, next year Jazz is a real X factor for us because if we can put Jazz in the middle of the lineup, he's like another leadoff guy. Like you put him on there and you put somebody that can hit him in behind him. You go with that route. Or like I said, was saying throughout the playoffs, I like to see Jazz and Volpe go back to back because they can just wreak so much havoc on the base path.
Oh, Soto. Sorry, I was just like
no, you good. No,
registering in my brain.
What I was saying is Jazz next year can play a big factor because he adds in the middle of the lineup, adds to be like another leadoff hitter when you turn the lineup over. Like, so you have to have somebody that's power behind him. But I also love Jazz and Volpe going back to back because that adds, they can wreak havoc on the base path together. Like we could see a lot of
Oh,
double steals, a lot of steals,
yeah.
like you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So
Yeah, the only thing with Jazz though is that his bat needs to come around.
yes,
The
he
bat
needs
the
to stop
bat
trying to hit
was
home runs, slap
yeah,
everything.
yeah, his at bats was really frustrating the crap out of me, man. It really was frustrating me. So he needs to just get back to getting hits and getting on base, and then if it's him and Volpe on the bases together, oh yeah, create that double threat. Um, yeah, they could make something happen on those bags. And we've kind of seen that, and we've seen Jazz what kind of threat he can be on the bags, and he creates plays. We've seen that from Jazz. So, if Jazz can improve his at bat appearances, his at bats, he could most definitely, yeah, he could most definitely him and Volpe together, man. If they could just click together and get on base, oh man,
Yep, because
yeah,
Jazz needs to stop with the power stroke. You know what I'm saying? Like stop trying to AO. Stop trying to hit everything out of the ballpark. Be that
right,
slap hitter because even you slap the ball and on the infield, you can beat it out with your speed. Volpe next year needs to shorten up his approach and start going to right field more. You know what I'm saying? So if you can get those two guys, you get Jazz. Let's say scenarios Jazz infield single. Volpe goes to right field, Jazz goes from first to third easily. So therefore, you have runners on the corners that you're set up for a huge inning. And Yankees next year have to get better with hitting runners in scoring position and runners on base. We know we both called the games. We know that they leave small villages and small continents on the base path.
yeah.
So
Because
this
how
year's got
many
to change.
runners do they leave on base like in a lot of these games?
All of them.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, man. It's like it was driving me insane. It's like they could get the hits, they get the guys on base. Okay, great, cool. Like, okay, now create some other opportunities, and they don't. It's
Yep.
like, what are you guys doing? There's games where they leave like 10 guys on base. They leave 8
Yep.
runners on base, 12 runners on base. I'm like, this is unreal. Like you
Yep.
cannot do that. You cannot do that with, especially with, that was a concern for me. You know what I mean? So,
Situational
um,
hitting
yeah,
and
situational
situational
hitting.
at bats. Yep.
100%, man, 100%. But yeah, there was a lot. We talked about a lot. I mean, I know the main thing for tonight was really, Soto signing with the New York Mets, but at the same time, we got to talk about how the Yankees could improve and what opportunities that they have. So, I don't want to. I didn't want to do this show as like as a complaint department, complaint fest for an hour of like Soto signed with the Mets. Oh, it's doom and gloom for the Yankees, and it's the end of the world, and House sucks and Cashman sucks. Like I'm not going to go down that road. I'm sorry. I know other fans might. I won't, but I wanted to come up with solutions, and I'm glad you and I got to talk about it and got some feedback from the chat too. So appreciate the chat also giving their feedback. But I'm probably going to shut this thing down. So we're kind of approaching the hour and 20-minute mark. But Ace, any last words that you want to add? Anything you want to say, man?
Yeah. Tonight's tough. As a Yankee fan,
Yeah.
a lot of Yankee fans love Soto. To those that didn't get to love him that wanted to, it's a tough night for you. But you got to root for the name in front of the jersey, the symbol in front of the jersey, not the name in the back. Hopefully this wakes up Hal Steinbrenner. If anything, this offseason kind of gives me more faith in Hal Steinbrenner going forward because he showed that he was willing to stand on business and do what he had to do because not a lot of people thought he would be the number that he was. It's unfortunate, but tomorrow's another day and we're going to see how the Yankee lineup looks going forward. The one thing that we can't afford to do is just stay stagnant. Go out there, do what you got to do, and you never know. Chase for 28 starts in a couple months.
Yeah, before you know it, I know, right? Like right now, it's winter meetings. Before you know it, I mean, here in a couple of months, players are going to start reporting for spring training. Then, spring training games are going to begin. We're not far away. We're not far away from, the 2025 baseball season. So, yeah, buckle up, folks. Let's, no matter what. I mean, I don't care if this team is bad or if they're good, if they're excellent, if they're terrible. the worst team in baseball, I'm still going to root for the Yankees. I'm not a fair weather fan. Yeah, they lost out on Soto, but I'm still going to root for the Yankees. At the end of the day, that's what I do. I like the players, but I like the team more.
Ken is taking it too literal. Yankees don't have names in Ken, it's just a saying, man. They don't have names on the front of the jersey either. They have a symbol. But yeah, just a saying.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, folks, again, appreciate you all coming on. Ace, thanks for coming on. I know you just went to your live stream. I've jumped on with you, but you were like, yeah, you know what, man? I'll jump on. And I'm like, cool, bro. Like, yeah, come on. Let's talk. You know what I mean? So, but shout out to everybody in the chat that popped in. You guys are the best. You guys and gals are the best. I appreciate you all tuning in, hanging out late night. I know it's late for a lot of you, so it's a little late for me here too, but no biggie. But I do appreciate everybody. Make sure you all subscribe to the Ace Avenue. All right. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Ace Avenue. He does a really good job on his channel. I have put the link out once again. So make sure you guys go subscribe to the Ace Avenue. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel. Make sure you guys like this live stream. The likes really does help the live stream. So, or with the YouTube algorithms, just trying to like get it out to more people. Share the channels out. Share my channel out. Share Ace's channel out. I would greatly appreciate it. Obviously, if news comes out, we'll go live. We'll go live. I don't know about Ace, but I'll definitely go live if the Yankees make some sort of big signing. I'll definitely go live if I'm able to. And yeah, hopefully Yankees get active now. Hopefully they got some things ready, and let's see what they do. But until then, we'll just have to wait and see. But appreciate everybody tuning in. Everybody have a good night. Ace, once again, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all next time. Signing out. Peace.